The Mexican-American War, fought on foreign soil, was between 1846 to 1848. As the U.S. Congress voted to annex Texas in 1845, Mexico broke off all diplomatic relations. The U.S. claimed that the southern-western border extended to the Rio Grande, while Mexico claimed the border was at the Neches River. President Polk sent Congressman John Slidell to make Mexico an offer. For Mexico's northern territory and border expansion, the U.S. offered $30 million. However, Mexican politicians refused. In April of 1846, Mexican forces decided to cross the river and attack a group of U.S. soldiers, killing 11 and taking 52 prisoners. Military Commander Zachary Taylor tells Polk, and in the act of aggression, Polk requested that Congress declares war against Mexico. So on May 7, 1846, American troops returned to Texas with 230 troops. Time passes and Mexican Congress finds new military commander, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, who lives in Cuba. As a former president of Mexico, he convinced Polk that if he was allowed to return to Mexico, he would negotiate with him, favoring the United States. But he ended up double-crossing Polk and took control of the Mexican army and went to battle. American troops never failed to lose a battle, despite being outnumbered. This led to the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, signed on February 2, 1848. This treaty recognized Texas as a U.S. state and ceded over 55% of Mexican territory. Mexican government surrendered and entered negotiations to end dispute. This expanded U.S. territory by 525,000 square miles, which is known as the Mexican Cession. There were many positive and negative results during the Mexican Cession. Mexico was defeated in a war against the U.S. that only lasted for 2 years. After the Mexican-American War, 2 years later, Texas finally became a state. During their battle, U.S. military soldiers passed away from deadly diseases and not during the war. When U.S. took over New Mexico and California, it freed new issues on slavery. The U.S. was able to complete Manifest Destiny and gain land coast to coast. The war between Mexico and the U.S. had huge impacts. For the U.S., it was the nation's first foreign war, involving multiple armies, long supply lines, and establishing a military government for alien population. As the U.S. won the war, Mexico gave up land that makes up present-day California, Utah, Nevada, most of Arizona, parts of New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. The issue of slavery came back and caused the northern and southern territories to fight about slavery, which led to the Civil War. The land gave many things to Americans, like fresh water, lumber from sycamore, opened up immigration to California. When Americans conquered all these lands, there were many native tribes that were affected. The tribes that were affected were the Navajo, Apache, and the Comanche tribes.